What if the best survival crop you could plant doesn't need watering, fertilizer, or even replanting? And it's probably already growing as a weed in your driveway right now. Forget the same old advice. Today, we're covering 18 crops that will actually keep your family fed when grocery bills hit the roof or supply chains stumble. And number 11, it produces food for an entire year from a single planting. Hey there, welcome to Nature and Green Focus. If you're new here, this is where we talk about practical, real-world gardening that doesn't require perfect conditions or a PhD in horticulture. I'm so glad you're here because what we're covering today could genuinely change how you think about food security. Real quick before we dive in, if even one crop on this list surprises you, drop a comment with the number. And hit subscribe if you want gardening advice that cuts through the noise and gets to what actually works. Alright, let's get into it. Here's the thing. Most survival garden lists recommend the same crops: beans, tomatoes, squash. And sure, those are great. But today, we're going deeper. These 18 crops were chosen because they give you the most food for the least effort. They store themselves, last forever, or come back year after year without you lifting a finger. And honestly, most of your neighbors have never even heard of half of these. Let's start with a crop that literally plants itself. Crop 1, Sunchokes, Jerusalem artichokes. First up, Sunchokes, also called Jerusalem artichokes. And no, they're not from Jerusalem and they're not artichokes. Confusing name, incredible crop. These look like knobby ginger root, taste like a nutty potato mixed with artichoke. And here's the amazing part. You plant them once and they return every single year without you doing anything. They're perennials that spread aggressively. The plants grow 6 to 8 feet tall with pretty yellow sunflower-like blooms. But the real magic is underground. The tubers multiply like crazy. Harvest them anytime from fall through winter, or just leave them in the ground until you need them. They literally store themselves. No root cellar, no canning. Just dig them up when you're hungry. They grow in terrible soil, handle drought, and pests mostly ignore them. The only downside, they're aggressive spreaders. Plant them in a spot you don't mind them taking over, maybe along a fence line or in a corner of your yard. One small patch can produce pounds and pounds of food for months. In difficult times, having a crop that requires zero replanting is absolute gold. Crop 2, walking onions. Number 2 is walking onions, and yes, they actually walk. Instead of making seeds at the top, they grow little bulbs on their flower stalks. Those bulbs get heavy, the stem tips over, the bulbs touch the ground and root themselves. That's literally how they walk across your garden, over time. You can eat every part. The green tops work like scallions. The underground bulbs taste like sharp onions, and those top-set bulbs, pickle them, roast them, or plant them to make more. They're perennial, so they come back every year and multiply faster than you can use them. In winter, they die back, but come spring, they're one of the first greens popping up. Having fresh onion flavor available 10 months a year without replanting, that's a game changer in tough times. Plus, they're nearly indestructible. Forget to water, they don't care. Bad soil? They'll manage. True set it and forget it food. Crop 3, oyster mushrooms. Now we're getting interesting. Oyster mushrooms. Most people think mushrooms are complicated, but oyster mushrooms are actually one of the easiest crops you can grow, and they produce food faster than almost anything else on this list. Here's how it works. Get some oyster mushroom spawn online. It's cheap. Find some hardwood logs, or even cardboard and straw. Inoculate them with the spawn, keep them moist and shaded, and within weeks you've got mushrooms. We're talking pounds of food from a single log that keeps producing for years. They grow in spring and fall when it's cool and damp. They're protein rich, taste incredible, and grow so fast you can literally watch them expand overnight. When everyone's fighting over limited garden space, you can stack mushroom logs vertically in a shady corner and produce serious food in an area the size of a closet. And here's the wild part. Oyster mushrooms break down wood and straw. You're literally turning trash into food. Old cardboard boxes, food. Tree branches from pruning, food. It's like magic, except it's just biology working for you. Crop 4, Amaranth, the dual-purpose powerhouse. Amaranth is one of those ancient grains modern people forgot about. Huge mistake. This plant is a dual-purpose powerhouse. Eat the leaves like spinach. Harvest the seeds like grain. One plant, two completely different types of food. The leaves are nutrient-dense, way more vitamins and minerals than regular lettuce or spinach. Keep harvesting them all summer, and the plant keeps producing. Then in late summer, massive seed heads form. We're talking thousands of tiny seeds per plant. Let them dry, thresh them out, and you've got a gluten-free grain that stores for years. Amaranth thrives in heat that would kill most crops. It handles drought. It doesn't need fertilizer. And it grows tall, so you can interplant shorter crops underneath to maximize space. In survival situations, having one plant that gives you both greens and grain is incredibly efficient. The seeds can be popped like popcorn, cooked like oatmeal, or ground into flour. The leaves can be eaten raw, when young, or cooked like any green. The whole plant is so vigorous, it basically grows itself. Just scatter seeds and watch it explode. Crop 5, ground cherries. Ground cherries are one of my favorite secret crops. They taste like tropical fruit, pineapple mixed with vanilla and tomato, but grow in regular garden conditions. They're in the waffe, tomato family, but instead of big fruits on vines, you get hundreds of little marble-sized fruits that fall to the ground in paper husks when they're ripe. Here's why they matter. They reseed themselves aggressively. Plant once, get volunteers every year. They produce like crazy, several pounds per plant, and the fruits keep for weeks in their husks without refrigeration. Just leave them in a bowl on the counter. They handle neglect. Irregular watering. Fine. Poor soil? They'll manage. And they fruit from midsummer straight through frost. When fresh fruit becomes expensive or scarce, having something this sweet and productive in your yard is a blessing. Eat them fresh, make jam, bake them into desserts, or dry them like raisins. Kids love them because they're like nature's candy. And because they're uncommon, you're not competing with anyone else for info or seeds. They're under the radar, exactly where the best survival crops tend to be. Crop 6, horseradish number 6 is horseradish, and this plant is basically unstoppable. You plant one root and it will spread for decades. It's one of the most aggressive perennials you can grow, in a good way. The roots are pungent, spicy, and medicinal. Fresh horseradish clears sinuses, aids digestion, and adds serious kick to any meal. You can grate it fresh, make horseradish sauce, pickle it, or dry it into powder. Here's what makes it perfect for survival gardening. Once you plant horseradish, you'll have it forever. It thrives in poor soil, handles cold winters, and comes back stronger every year. You harvest the roots in fall or early spring when the flavor is strongest. Dig up what you need, leave some in the ground, and it regenerates. No replanting required, and because the roots store well in damp sand or soil in a cool place, you can keep fresh horseradish available for months. It's also medicinal, a natural antibiotic and decongestant. When modern medicine is expensive or unavailable, having potent medicinal plants in your garden is invaluable. Plant it in a corner where it can spread, and forget about it. It'll be there when you need it. Hey, quick pause. We're 6 crops in, and I'm curious, how many of these have you actually heard of before? Drop a comment and let me know. And if you're finding this helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button. It genuinely helps more people discover information like this. Plus, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. We put out practical gardening content every week that you won't find anywhere else. No fluff, just real solutions. Alright, back to the list, and this next one might blow your mind. Crop 7, Scorzonera, Black Salsify. Scorzonera is a root vegetable almost nobody grows anymore, and that's a shame because it's ridiculously useful. It looks like a long black carrot, tastes similar to oysters or artichokes, and here's the best part. You can leave it in the ground for over a year without it going bad. Most root crops you harvest in fall and store them somewhere. Scorzonera, just mulch it heavily and harvest whenever you want, even in the middle of winter. The roots actually get sweeter after frost, and if you don't harvest the first year, it comes back the second year and makes edible flower shoots that taste like asparagus. It's slow growing, takes about 4 months to mature, but once it's there, it's reliable food that doesn't demand anything from you. Grows in poor soil, doesn't need much water once established, and stores itself underground where animals and weather can't touch it. In difficult times, having food hidden underground that doesn't need a freezer or canning setup is huge. You just dig up what you need when you need it. The rest stays fresh in the earth, waiting. Crop 8, purslane, the weed that's better than spinach. Here's where it gets wild. Purslane. It's technically a weed, grows in sidewalk cracks, driveways, disturbed soil, pretty much anywhere. Most people spray it or yank it out, but purslane is one of the most nutritious plants you can eat. Loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, more than most fish. The leaves are thick and succulent, taste lemony and slightly salty, and the stems are crunchy. Eat it raw in salads, cook it like spinach, pickle it or toss it in soups. And it produces seeds like crazy. Once you have it, you'll have it forever. Here's the survival angle. Purslane thrives in heat and drought when everything else is dying. It grows so fast, you can harvest multiple times in a season. And because it's already growing wild in most places, you don't even have to plant it. Just stop pulling it and start eating it. It's free food that requires zero input from you. In tough times, being able to walk outside and harvest nutritious greens from what everyone else thinks is a weed problem. That's pure gold. Plus, it reseeds every year, so you never have to think about it. Crop 9, perennial kale. Most people know regular kale, but perennial kale is a different beast. Varieties like Daubenton's kale don't make seeds. They just keep growing year after year. Plant it once, get kale forever. It doesn't bolt and turn bitter like annual kale. You just keep harvesting leaves and it keeps making more. Through winter, through summer. It just keeps going. It's one of the most low-maintenance vegetables you can grow. In difficult times, having a vegetable that produces 12 months a year without replanting is massive. No seed saving, no starting seedlings, nothing. It's just always there. You can take cuttings to make more plants, share them with neighbors, or fill your yard with them. It's hardy down to about 15 degree box and bounces back from hard freezes. Deer don't love it as much as other greens, and it grows in partial shade, meaning you can tuck it under trees or in spots where other crops won't thrive. Crop 10. Sorrel number 10 is sorrel, and this perennial green is seriously underrated. It's one of the first things to pop up in spring, sometimes even before the snow fully melts. The leaves have this bright lemony flavour that wakes up your taste buds after a long winter of stored food. Sorrel is a true perennial. Plant it once and harvest for 5 to 10 years or more. It produces from early spring through fall, and you can keep cutting leaves and it keeps producing. Use it in salads when the leaves are young and tender. Cook it into soups and sauces when they're bigger. It has a natural tanginess that adds brightness to everything. Here's what makes it perfect for survival gardening. It grows in poor soil, tolerates shade, handles cold weather like a champ, and requires basically no care once established. Pests leave it alone because of the oxalic acid content, and it spreads slowly from the roots, so you can divide it to make more plants or control its size. Having fresh greens available in early spring when nothing else is ready yet is a huge advantage. That's the hunger gap, when stored food is running low and new crops haven't started producing yet. Sorrel fills that gap perfectly. Just walk outside and harvest. Crop 11, Turkish rocket. Turkish rocket is another perennial green most Americans have never heard of. It's related to arugula, but way hardier. Grows through winter in most climates, comes back every spring, and has this peppery, spicy flavor that makes everything taste better. Harvest it like lettuce. Just cut leaves and let the plant regrow. It produces from early spring through late fall. In mild climates, it never really stops. One plant can give you greens for years without replanting. It handles poor soil, doesn't need fertilizer, and laughs at cold weather. While your neighbors wait for spring to plant lettuce, you're already harvesting fresh greens. And because it spreads slowly from the roots, you can divide it every few years to make more plants. In survival situations, having fresh greens when nothing else is growing yet is a huge morale boost and a nutritional win. Plus, the flowers are edible and actually really pretty. It's a crop that works for you instead of the other way around. Crop 12. Mashua. Mashua is a tuber crop from South America that basically nobody in the US grows. And that's crazy because it's incredibly productive. It's related to nasturtiums and the entire plant is edible. The tubers taste like spicy radish potato. The leaves are peppery. The flowers are gorgeous. One plant can produce 5 to 10 pounds of tubers. They grow in cool weather, so you plant in late summer and harvest in fall after frost. And just like sunchokes, you can leave them in the ground over winter and dig them up as needed. They grow in poor soil, don't need fertilizer, and pests generally avoid them because of their spicy compounds. Some people actually plant mashua to repel pests from other crops. And because they're so uncommon in the US, there are almost no diseases that affect them here. The tubers store well in a cool, dark place for months. Eat them raw, roasted, boiled, or fried, and if you save some to replant, you've got food for next year guaranteed. High yield, low input crop that deserves way more attention. Crop 13. Sea kale. Sea kale is a coastal perennial that grows wild along European beaches, but it thrives in regular gardens too. It's one of the first things to pop up in spring, and you can harvest the young shoots like asparagus. It's a long-lived perennial, can produce for 20 years or more from a single planting. The shoots are tender and delicious in early spring. Later in the season, you can eat the leaves and flower buds. It's salty and slightly bitter, really unique flavor. It tolerates poor soil, salt spray if you're near the coast, and cold winters. Once established, it's nearly indestructible. And because it's perennial, you're not wasting time and energy replanting every year. In difficult times, having a vegetable that produces early spring food before anything else is ready is critical. That's when stored food is running low and fresh vegetables are scarce. Sea kale fills that gap perfectly. Crop 14. Chinese artichokes, croissant. Number 14 is Chinese artichokes, also called croissant, and they're one of the most unusual tubers you'll ever grow. They look like little white caterpillars, these knobby, segmented tubers that are actually really pretty. They taste like artichokes with a hint of nuttiness, and they have this crispy texture that stays even when cooked. Plant them once, and they come back every year. They're perennial tubers that multiply underground just like sunchokes. One handful of tubers planted in spring turns into several pounds by fall. And like other tuber crops on this list, you can leave them in the ground and harvest as needed. They're incredibly easy to grow. They tolerate shade better than most crops, grow in average soil, and pests generally leave them alone. The only downside is they're a bit fiddly to clean because of all those ridges. But once you get the hang of it, they're worth it. You can eat them raw, stir-fried, roasted, pickled, or added to soups. In France, they're considered a delicacy. Having a perennial tuber crop that's productive, unusual, and virtually maintenance-free is a win for any survival garden. Crop 15. Malabar spinach. Malabar spinach isn't actually spinach, but it fills the same role. It's a vining plant that loves heat. While regular spinach bolts and dies in summer, Malabar spinach is just getting started. It grows fast, climbs fences or trellises, and produces thick, succulent leaves all summer long. Harvest continuously, and it just keeps growing. In hot climates, it's way more reliable than regular spinach. The leaves have a slightly mucilaginous texture when cooked, which makes them perfect for thickening soups and stews. And the berries it produces? Use them as natural dye or save them for seeds. It reseeds itself in warm climates, so once you have it, it comes back every year. And because it grows vertically, you can produce a lot of food in a small footprint. When garden space is limited, vertical crops are your best friend. Crop 16, OCA. OCA is another South American tuber that's criminally underused in the US. It's like a potato but tangier, almost lemony, and produces these beautiful, colourful tubers in shades of pink, red, yellow and orange. Plant in spring, grow through summer, harvest in late fall after days get short. One plant can give you a couple pounds of tubers, and they store well for months in a cool place. OTA is resistant to most common potato diseases because it's a completely different plant family. So, when everyone else's potatoes are struggling with blight, your OTA is thriving. And because it's so uncommon, pests don't recognize it as food. The tubers are delicious roasted, and if you leave them in the sun for a few days after harvest, they get sweeter as the starches convert to sugars. It's a reliable, unique crop that diversifies your food supply. Crop 17, Good King Henry. Good King Henry is an old European perennial vegetable that was popular for centuries before people forgot about it. It's related to quinoa and spinach, and you can eat the leaves, shoots, and flower buds. In spring, the young shoots taste like asparagus. Later, the leaves work like spinach, and the flower buds can be cooked like broccoli. It's a 3-season crop from one perennial plant that lives for years. Here's what makes it special. It grows in shade. Most crops need full sun, but Good King Henry actually prefers some shade. This means you can grow food in parts of your yard that are otherwise useless for gardening. It's tough, cold hardy, and once established, takes care of itself. In difficult times, having multiple types of food from one plant that never needs replanting is efficient and smart. Crop 18, Daylilies. Last one, and this might surprise you. Daylilies. Yes, the flowers. Every part of a daylily is edible. The tubers taste like sweet potatoes. The shoots taste like asparagus. The flower buds are like green beans. And the flowers themselves are crispy and slightly sweet. Daylilies are already growing in millions of American yards as ornamentals, but most people have no idea they're sitting on a food source. They're perennial. They spread like crazy, and they're nearly impossible to kill. In survival situations, having a food source that's already established requires zero maintenance and produces multiple types of edibles throughout the season is incredible. And because they're so common, you can probably get started from neighbours for free. Just make sure you're eating true daylilies, Hemerocallis species, not other types of lilies, which can be toxic. But once you know what you have, you've got food hiding in plain sight. So there you have it. 18 crops that actually make sense when you're thinking about food security in difficult times. These aren't your basic garden vegetables. These are plants that work hard for you, produce reliably, and don't quit when conditions get tough. The beautiful thing? You can start small. Pick 2 or 3 that sound interesting and try them this year. See how they do, learn their quirks, and slowly build a garden that's not just productive, but resilient. Before you go, I want to hear from you. Which of these 18 crops are you most excited to try? Or maybe you're already growing one and have tips to share. Drop a comment below. I read every single one. And if you found this helpful, share it with someone who's thinking about growing their own food. We're all learning together. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you catch our next video. Thanks for spending time with me today. Now get out there and grow something uncommon. I'll see you in the next one.